What's up, guys? Got a little fishing tip for you. You know, I'm here on the Harris chain practicing for a Bassmasters tournament, and we catch a lot of fish in this deeper hydrilla on lipless crankbaits. There's a couple different ways to fish a lipless crankbait. The traditional way, just cast it out and reel it in, and that works. But there's a way to fish a lipless crankbait deep, where you're fishing the outside grass lines and letting that trap fall. It's kind of like stroking it, okay? So basically, I'm gonna rip it up off the bottom and let it fall on slack line. It's a really good way of catching fish, especially in that deeper grass. Let me tell you a little bit about my setup first. You know, frog swim bait rod here. You know, I'm obviously not throwing a frog, but it's a heavy action rod. It's got a perfect little tip. This is one of my signature series rods. Here's a very important thing. A high-speed reel. This is an 8-to-1 Akuma high-speed reel, and I have it on 17-pound, the P-Line Tactical. This stuff is amazing, real soft, casts real good. This is just a standard little half-ounce lipless. I have some live target 3/4 ounce rigged up as well. It kind of depends on where I'm fishing. Right now I'm fishing a little bit shallower, so I like the half-ounce. And so let me show you how we do this, and come along. I'll show you a few tips along the way. Hopefully it'll allow you to catch more fish. We're sitting in about 6.5 foot of water with some scattered grass. There's an edge to it out there. So when I'm throwing this lipless, what I'm doing is let it sink down to the bottom, 7 foot of water. I'm gonna start reeling it, feel the vibration, and then just kind of stroke your rod, let it fall on slack line. It's almost like worm fishing, but a little faster. And that's the way I like to do it, just kind of pulling it and letting it fall. Every one of the bites is gonna come on the fall. Like you rip it up like that, and it'll go dong, and you just take off reeling real fast. The real important thing with this is when you feel that bite, don't hesitate, rear back, just take off reeling real fast with the reel. That's your quickest way of driving the hooks into that fish. Just reel like a madman. Okay, you get out here where this grass is, and the key is just obviously to stroke it up through that grass. So I'm letting it sink to the bottom. I'm just kind of sweeping my rod, kind of like a fast worm, and I feel that vibration. And here's the trick that you got to really pay attention to. Is you have to know exactly what your bait feels like when it's totally clean. When you feel that vibration change slightly, that means you've got a little grass on it. And what I'll do then is I'll kind of pop it up kind of hard and try to rip some of that grass off the hooks. So now it's got a really good clean feeling to the stroke. And again, it's just hopping up off the bottom and swimming back down. All right, guys, what you want to look for when you're looking at your graph right here on my clear view. You can see my clear view. Let's go here big. See, there's the edge of the grass right there. That's all the hydrilla, and it's dropping off, and it's kind of patchy. And then when you look at the side view here, which is a really great tool to have when you're doing this technique, you can start to see some of the grass. You'll see patches of it, 40, 50 feet away, and that's real important. So I'm right on the edge of it. I'm in 6.5 foot of water. All the hard grass is over to our left, and that's what I'm looking for. Well, look here, there's a little bit of grass. See these little patches of grass right out here? Look at that. There's some isolated patches right out here. And that's why the side view, the Garmin side view is awesome, because right now I can cast literally about 30 feet right over here. It's a little isolated patch of hydrilla. The reason you want a stiff rod is because I'm making long casts and I'm trying to keep this bait clean. So you need a stiff rod. This particular 7'3" heavy, it's slated for frog swim bait, but it's a great stroke in the trap rod because it's got enough backbone that when you get in the grass like that, you can pop it real hard. There's one. There's one. I think it's another pretty good one. Now I got him in the side. Well, little bonus. Little bonus. He swatted at it. Obviously you can see where he was hooked right there. The front hook pulled out, but that was a small one, but I bet there's a big one in here somewhere. I bet there is. And if you just noticed how I did that, I just took off reeling. When he swatted at it, you can feel it, and that's why you want to fish fluorocarbon. This is P-Line Tactical. It's real soft, it casts amazing, but you can feel that bite. That fluorocarbon has less stretch, so you can feel that vibration better. You can feel the strike better. If you throw it on straight mono, you lose some of your sensitivity. So I would definitely recommend fluorocarbon for this technique. And again, the other real important key is having a high-speed reel. It doesn't work great if you've got a 6-to-1 because you just can't catch up. This technique right here is great for covering a lot of water because I can make long casts. You can find schools of fish out here in this grass. But again, it's kind of a non-traditional way of working a lipless crankbait. Most people just do the standard reel, which will work, and it'll work right here if I just slow it down a little bit. But a lot of times in a pre-spawn situation where the water temperature is still a little chilly, and you're coming through patchy hydrilla on the edges, that stroking technique or dragging technique, I think works pretty good. Good thing. That's a good thing. He jumped off. That's okay. It's practice. But we don't want to catch all these fish. All right, let me tell you this setup one more time. It's very important. This technique right here requires having things just about right. You need a heavy action rod. This is a 7.3 Akuma frog swim bait rod. It's a perfect action for it. A high-speed reel. This is an Akuma 8-to-1, but whatever. Just get you a high-speed reel. Very important because you got to reel fast. And the key is fluorocarbon and 17-pound line. If you throw 12, if you throw 10, it's not going to fall the same way. You're not going to have the same sensitivity. So 17 is a really good size line when you're ripping traps through the grass or stroking it like we're doing today. So let's get back to it. See if we can't catch a couple more. I think there's a big one in here somewhere, but we're going to move and go to another spot here in a second because we're getting bit. There's got to be a good one in here somewhere. That was pretty cool. It's a small little keeper. There's a bait in here jumping around too. But that fish bit it on the fall again, and I felt him whack it. And when you let it fall on slack line, you want to let it fall completely free, but keep enough slack picked up so you can feel the bite. If you lay all your line on the water, totally slack, then you won't feel that bite. It's real important. You have to feel that little thump because that's when they get it. So even though I'm letting it fall on slack line, I'm kind of following my line down where I'm not affecting the fall of the bait. Real important to do that. And that's something you got to work on. So you want to keep a little bow in your line, just a little bow. Again, don't when you throw it out there and stroke it, don't just let it completely lay flat, 5 feet of slack. Stroke it up. And I kind of just keep my line up out of the water, and I'm watching that bow in my line. And I'm watching that bow. It doesn't affect the fall. I got just enough line up out of the water. One bites it or thumps it like that. That's a good one. That's definitely a good one. Be careful here. Practicing for a tournament. We don't want a lot of people seeing this. Oh, that's a good picture. That's a good one right there. They're getting bigger. But see, did you see how I did that? Literally stroking it on the slack line, and he knocks the fire out of it. That's a nice little tournament fish right there. And if we can get a bigger one, even be better. All right, guys, finally got a good one in this little school right here. So I'm gonna hang it up on this one. We're gonna move to another spot. But again, let me show you a couple things. Now, that's a little half ounce. That's a little half ounce, kind of a transparent color. Here's the key. You want to really pay attention to water clarity. Right here on this particular lake, the water is clear, but has a little green tint to it. So I kind of like that transparent, little white, kind of like a white color. If I was in real clear water and want a lot of flash, this little live target half ounce works great. And that's really, really good. And then if I'm in, if you're watching this and you live in Texas, you're dealing with real cold water, your reds work good as well. And that's even a one knocker there. So sometimes they want a little one knocker action, but most of the time I catch them on that little half ounce live target or the 3/4 ounce live target. I've caught a lot of fish. You've seen a lot of these little fishing shows we've been doing on the channel, kill them on the 3/4 ounce live target. So that's a really good one too. And there's something really unique about this bait right here. And it's great for stroking. Watch this, guys. This bait, actually, when it hits the bottom, will sit straight up. They have a little air chamber in this body right here. So when it falls and hits the bottom, it sits. It doesn't lay flat. Check it out. I'm going to prove it to you. All right, now watch this. I'm just going to drop it in my live well. Look at that bait. Look at that bait sitting straight up. Look at it. Look at it right there. That's key right there. Look at that. It's not laying flat, see? See, another style bait, a lot of times will lay flat. Now watch if I grab this other bait. This one is not a live target. Watch this one. Lays over on its side, see? And this one sits straight up. Check it out. Even if I push it over, it comes right back to up. So, anyways, hope you enjoyed this little tip, guys. And thanks for tuning in. Thanks for subscribing to the channel. And drop some comments below. We'll drop some links down below for some of this equipment as well. And I'm going to get back to practicing. So we'll be back real soon with another tip, web series, or vlog. We'll see you guys. I'm out.